I've witnessed a lot of people saying that they're not afraid of death, and I understand that conceptually. You're not afraid of the concept of death. That doesn't intimidate you, because It doesn't intimidate me either. But to those people and to myself, I asked the question: have you ever actually looked at death in the eyes in real life? Not in your mind, not as a concept. Dead straight in the eyes, it's there and it's coming for you. Because saying that you're not afraid of death conceptually is like not being afraid of death's Facebook profile, but then you meet it in a dark alley. And if anything, death's a girl. It's the opposite of Shiva, Shakti, or whatever it is. The goddess that is trampling over Shiva's body with a knife and a severed head with blood dripping from each, with a tongue sticking out. Speaking of which, I'd be interested to know what you think happens after we die. Do you think it's lights out? Eternal darkness, eternal sleep? Do you think there's reincarnation? And if so, what is the nature of the reincarnation? See, I think that there's a possibility of transcendence based on character. And I think a lot of the people who have the capacity to transcend this reality into a greater one bring death upon themselves, and I don't mean in suicide, I mean in the sense that they're so wise that the wisdom gets them killed eventually. Because to face death is like almost the final test. Think of somebody like Jesus or Socrates. If you didn't know I'm sure you're familiar with Jesus. If you're not, then fucking look it up. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Socrates, I don't remember exactly what he'd done, but he was threatened to be killed unless he left his city or his country. And he decided that he consulted what he referred to as his daemon, his inner voice, and his inner voice told him that he should face the music and be put to death at the hands of his own people. And so he did. He died. He was executed. You just think about that for a second. He decided, instead of fleeing, that he'd lived a good life, and to run away from it was cowardice, and he trusted in his inner voice and was put to death. That's some bravery, if you ask me. He could have lived longer, but he decided to die there and then. To die for what he believed in. Socrates being a philosopher, I've not read up on the story recently, but he probably said some things that people don't agree with, and instead of running away, he stood his ground and was put to death. See, I think that maybe in the lives of people that are wise enough to walk the walk and talk the talk comes a point where you can either run or face whatever's in front of you. And if you face what's in front of you, the universe will naturally come together and see you off. to transcend your own character. See, I think the final test is bravery. It's alright being smart and wise, not telling lies. But at the end of the day, the most precious virtue anybody can possess is bravery. And what can be braver than facing your own death in the knowledge that more likely than not, you're not going to make it out there like a warrior. I think those people deserve to transcend this reality. I mean, I'm not sure if people do transcend into a greater reality, those of us who have brilliant character. I'm not sure how the process would work. Perhaps you don't have to walk into your own demise, but I should think that you have to express a certain amount of bravery before you can have the right to transcend into that greater realm. So my advice to you would be, I don't like advice. I don't know the word. What I would do if I was brave enough is face the music. If somebody challenges you for something against something that you truly believe in, then perhaps it isn't the right thing to walk away. Perhaps the right thing is to stand and fight, or at least not surrender. Because a lot of people tell you to just walk away. You've got things to lose, but that's just in material reality. You've got to consider what you would be losing in your virtues and your soul. Because if you truly believe that we go on after this plane of existence, then what is more precious, your soul or material? And some people would argue that that's a very selfish and reckless philosophy. But I don't really care about the people that think that, because to me it makes sense. What do you think about it? I'd be interested to know if you agree or disagree. I think that if people were stubborn about the right things, then they would die in the right way. It's like if you see something in everyday reality, something that bothers you, and you walk past it, then does that not give you a bitter feeling in your heart? Because it does to me. I've walked past things that I've had some distaste for and said nothing. And it always made me feel terrible, but at the same time, I've challenged things that I have a disagreement with. It always made me feel stronger and wiser after I'd gone through the turmoil. That's why I lost my tooth. Even the Mona Lisa's falling apart. So yeah, just some things to think about. Thank you for watching.